call came in at 2:17. That time matters. Most emergency calls blur together after midnight. Drunks, domestic arguments, alarms triggered by mistake. But 2:17 is the hour when the city exhales, when even criminals get tired, when silence stretches long enough for your mind to wander if you let it. I didn't let it. Emergency. Which service do you require? There was breathing on the other end. Not panicked. Not rushed. Measured. I waited the required 2 seconds before repeating myself. Emergency. Police. Fire. Or ambulance. A woman answered. Police, she said quietly. Her voice was clear. Educated. Southern England. Maybe just outside London. No slurring, no hysteria. That alone put me on alert. People who whisper during emergencies are either in real danger or they already know something you don't. Okay, I said, fingers hovering above the keyboard. What's your name? There was a pause. Eleanor, she replied. Surname followed. Address followed. Clean, precise, like she'd rehearsed it. I typed it in. The system hesitated. That happens sometimes. Old properties, new builds. But then the location populated on my screen. And I frowned. The address Eleanor had given wasn't matching the coordinates. The map pin blinked once, then shifted. A few streets east. Still within the same borough. Still reasonable. I ignored it. Tell me what's happening, Eleanor. I think someone is inside my house, she said. There it was, the sentence every dispatcher knows by heart. The kind that spikes adrenaline, but demands calm. Are you alone right now? Yes. Is the intruder visible? No, but I can hear him. I noted the phrasing. Not someone. Him. Where are you in the house at the moment? In the upstairs bedroom. Door locked. Good. Always good. I dispatched a patrol unit immediately, eyes flicking back to the screen as I did. The map pin moved again. This time, farther. My stomach tightened slightly. Eleanor, I said evenly, are you still at the address you gave me? Yes, she whispered. I haven't moved. I stared at the screen. The location was no longer in her borough. It wasn't even close. The system recalibrated, redrawing the map like it was correcting a mistake, except the correction made less sense than the error. The pin settled, then drifted, like it couldn't decide where to belong. I swallowed. Can you confirm something for me? I asked carefully. Are you calling from a mobile phone or a landline? Mobile. That explains some things. Not all. Okay, stay with me. Help is on the way. That was protocol. What wasn't protocol was the way the address field refreshed again, this time placing Eleanor's house on a road I knew very well. Because I'd grown up there. The breathing on the line changed. Still controlled, but closer now. Dispatcher, Eleanor said softly. Can you see my house? I didn't answer immediately. I couldn't, because the map zoomed in by itself. And for the first time in my career, the location tag didn't display a street name. It displayed a structure label. Residential. Detached. No number. No road. Just the house. Floating. Waiting. And the call timer kept ticking. The first patrol acknowledged the dispatch within seconds. Unit Charlie 12. 2 officers. Routine response time under 6 minutes. I watched their marker appear on the map. Blue triangles sliding into place a few streets away from Eleanor's reported address. Except it wasn't a few streets away anymore. The house icon, not a pin, not a dot, but a rendered structure, had shifted again. It slid northward, smoothly, as if dragged by an invisible hand. I stared at the screen, convinced it was a visual glitch. Control to Charlie 12, I said, keeping my voice even. Confirm your current location. Currently on approach, the officer replied. But, Control, the address you gave us doesn't exist. My fingers paused above the keyboard. Clarify, I said. We're on the street now, Numbers jump from 14 to 28. There's no 16. No detached property matching description. I glanced back at Eleanor's call details. Eleanor, I said into the headset, can you describe the front of your house for me? There was a faint sound on the line. Fabric shifting. Careful movement. Red brick, she whispered. White door. Small bay window downstairs. There's a rose bush by the gate. That description matched exactly what the system was showing me. I zoomed in further. The map refreshed. The house was no longer on that street. It had moved again. This time several miles. My throat went dry. Control? Charlie 12 said. We're not seeing anything. Are you sure this isn't a misroute? I'm sure, I replied automatically. But I wasn't. I dispatched a second unit, then a third. I split the response like we're trained to do when something doesn't line up. Cover the perimeter, triangulate. The system refused to triangulate. Each unit's map showed a different location for Eleanor's house. One officer was sent toward a cul-de-sac near a canal. Another toward a quiet estate near a railway line. A third toward a stretch of countryside that shouldn't have had any residences at all. All of them reported the same thing. Nothing there. On my screen, the house icon pulsed softly. I became acutely aware of the call timer. Still running. Still connected. Eleanor, I said slowly, I need you to answer something very carefully. Have you left your house at any point tonight? No, she replied. I told you, I'm upstairs. He's downstairs. The way she said he made my shoulders tense. What makes you sure he's still inside? There was a pause. Then, he's moving things. Something scraped faintly across the line. Wood on wood. A chair leg, maybe. I didn't hear him come in, she continued. But I can hear him now. He's not hiding. The control room around me felt suddenly too loud. Keyboards clacking, phones ringing. Other voices talking about heart attacks, car accidents, broken glass. None of them mattered. Can you hear sirens outside? I asked. No. That wasn't unusual yet. Units were still converging. But then she added something that made my scalp prickle. I can hear traffic, she said, but it keeps changing. Changing how? One moment it sounds close, the next, far away, like the road moves. I didn't respond immediately, because the map zoomed again and again. The house was no longer within city limits. It sat alone now, surrounded by blank space, no street names, no nearby structures, just fields. My screen flickered. For half a second, a new line of text appeared beneath the address field. Location source, fixed structure. I'd never seen that before. Not once in 8 years. Control to all units, I said, my voice tightening despite my efforts. Hold position. Do not enter any property matching description unless visually confirmed. A pause. Then Charlie 9 responded, unsettled. Control. Our map just updated. The address you gave us is now showing behind us. Behind them. Eleanor, I said quietly, I need you to stay exactly where you are. Do not go downstairs. Do not confront anyone. I wasn't going to, she said. Her breathing changed then. Not faster. Closer. I think, she whispered, he knows you're listening. The house icon pulsed again. This time it rotated slightly on the screen, as if turning, facing me, and somewhere beneath the soft noise of the call, I heard something else. A second breath. Not Eleanor's, and not mine. The control room systems aren't supposed to speak. They display, they log, they wait for input. They don't interrupt. Yet the first thing that broke protocol wasn't Eleanor's voice. It was my screen. A soft chime sounded in my headset. Not an alert, not a priority tone. Something lower, almost polite. A new panel opened itself on my monitor. No one touched a keyboard. No one called it up. White text on a black background. Call origin. Verified. I frowned. That field had already been verified multiple times. The system doesn't re-verify unless something changes. I scanned the room. My supervisor was across the aisle, focused on a domestic dispute call. No one was watching my screen. Eleanor, I said carefully, are you still upstairs? Yes, she whispered. The spare room. Same place. Her voice sounded thinner now. Not panicked, flattened. Like fear had pressed it down. Are you able to lock the door? I already did. Good. The new panel refreshed. Structure status. Occupied. That wasn't right. Occupied was used for flats, shared housing, known multiple resident addresses. This was meant to be a single occupancy detached house. I hovered my cursor over the word. Another line appeared beneath it. Additional presence confirmed. My pulse kicked hard. I muted my mic. Mark, I said to the dispatcher beside me, keeping my voice low. Have you ever seen this interface before? He leaned over, squinting. No, he said immediately. That's not standard. Before I could respond, the text changed again. Additional presence. Aware. Aware of what? Of the call? Of me? The call timer kept running. I unmuted. Eleanor, I said, forcing steadiness into my voice. Has he said anything to you yet? No, she replied, but he's closer. I listened. There it was. Not footsteps. Wait. A pressure sound like someone standing very still on old floorboards, testing how much noise they made. Is he downstairs or upstairs with you? I asked. Another pause. I don't know anymore, she said. The system chimed again. This time my screen zoomed without input, diving into the map view until the house filled the display. No surrounding streets, no town markers, just the structure. It wasn't rotating now. It was breathing. The outline of the building expanded and contracted almost imperceptibly, as if responding to something unseen. I swallowed. This was wrong. This was well beyond a glitch. Control to all units, I said into the channel, my voice sharp. I need visual confirmation on any structure matching description. Red brick, white door, bay window, rose bush. Static. Then, Charlie 9. Control, the officer said slowly. We've got something. My heart leapt. Go ahead. There's a house here, he said, but it's not on the road. What do you mean? It's set back, he replied. No driveway, no path, just grass, like it was placed here after the road was built. I leaned forward. Does it match the description? Yes. Relief surged, then died. Control, he added. The house is dark. No lights, no movement. That's not possible, I said automatically. She's on the line, he replied. We can hear her breathing through your channel. My blood ran cold, because Eleanor had stopped breathing, audibly. Eleanor, I said quickly, are you there? Yes, she whispered. But her voice didn't come through the phone the same way anymore. It sounded closer, less filtered, as if the distance between us had shrunk. Do you see police outside? I asked. No, she said, but I can hear them. That made no sense. You shouldn't be able to, I said carefully. They haven't reached. I know, she interrupted softly. He's letting me hear them. The word letting settled heavily in my chest. On my screen, a new line typed itself out. Call participants, 3. I stared at it. No, I whispered under my breath. Eleanor, I said firmly, I need you to tell me exactly where your phone is right now. In my hand, she said, near my face. Another sound bled into the line. A breath. Not hers. Slower. Measured. Eleanor, I said, my voice barely controlled now. Is anyone else holding a phone in the house? She didn't answer immediately. Then, I don't think he needs one, she said. The system chimed again. The participant count updated. Call participants, 4. My headset crackled. A voice, not routed through Eleanor's mic, slid into the channel. Low, calm, unregistered. You're very good at your job, it said. Every hair on my arm stood up. This voice wasn't coming through a caller line. It was coming through the system itself. I appreciate that, it continued. You keep her still. My mouth went dry. This line is restricted, I said, forcing authority into my tone. Identify yourself immediately. A soft sound followed. Amusement. I don't have a number, the voice replied. I have a location. The house on my screen pulsed once. Hard. And Eleanor whispered something that made my stomach drop. He's looking at the ceiling, she said, like he knows where you are. I ripped off my headset. The control room noise rushed back in. Phones, voices, life. But my screen remained unchanged. The house, the breathing outline, the participant count, and one final line, blinking patiently at the bottom. Dispatcher status. Connected. I put the headset back on, because disconnecting suddenly felt like the worst possible thing I could do. And the voice, still calm, still close, spoke again. Let's not hang up, it said. Not yet. I had never been so conscious of silence. Not the silence of an empty street. Not the silence of a stalled engine. This was anticipatory silence, the kind that drapes itself over you like wet cloth. Charlie 12 had arrived, or at least the officers on my screen indicated they had, but the house had already shifted again. The blue dot representing their car had stopped, engines idling. The house icon pulsed, slightly larger than before, and then slowly rotated on its own axis, aligning itself with the approaching vehicle. Control, one officer said cautiously over the radio. We're at the coordinates you sent, but the house isn't on the street. There's just grass, empty grass, no driveway, no path. The house? It looks exactly like the description, though. I pressed my fingers against my forehead, disbelief tightening my temples. Eleanor, I said, my voice steadier than I felt. Are you still inside? Yes, she whispered. I'm sitting on the bed. The door is locked. He's moving around downstairs, I think. I glanced at the call participant count. 4. Not Eleanor. Not me. Not the unknown presence. 1 extra. Something about the system's timing felt wrong. I typed into the dispatcher notes, half for protocol, half for clarity. House location unstable. Caller reports intruder. Unknown participant in line. Coordinates do not match geography. The system blinked and then typed itself a response. House status. Active response. I froze, my hand hovered over the keyboard. Control to all units, I said slowly. Proceed, but do not enter until the structure is visually confirmed. Static crackled through my headset. Then Eleanor's voice, faint, whispering, He knows you're there. I swallowed hard. Eleanor, what makes you say that? There was a pause, then a faint sound, almost inaudible at first, a scrape of wood, a creak of floorboards. Not above, not below, somewhere in the structure. He's listening, she whispered. He knows I told you everything. He watches the lights, the phone, you. I felt the color drain from my face. I looked at the officers' markers, expecting them to report movement, or at least confusion. Nothing. Just static cars on a blank map. The house moved again, slowly, smoothly. A few inches north. The blue dots of the patrol units adjusted automatically, sliding along roads that didn't exist in reality. The house was anticipating them. Control, we're going to attempt entry, one officer said, his voice tight. But the front door, it's gone. I frowned. Explain. There's no door now, just a brick wall where it should be. I felt my stomach twist. Eleanor, can you see anything? Yes, she whispered, voice quivering. The wall is there, and then it's gone. He's shaping it. The unknown presence, whatever or whoever it was controlling the environment. Not just the house, not just Eleanor's perception, but the reality itself inside the structure's bounds. The call participant count changed again. 5. I hadn't added anyone. The new participant hadn't spoken. It just existed, waiting, watching. Eleanor, I said carefully, stay on the bed. Do not approach the doors or windows. Do not go downstairs. I can't see him. Control, she whispered. But I can feel him. He's in the hallway, but also outside. I paused. The line was thick with static. And then, soft, deliberate, near the phone speaker, came a voice. Dispatcher. It wasn't Eleanor. It wasn't mechanical. It was calm, measured, human. I froze. Yes, I said automatically, though my throat was tight. I've moved the house again, the voice said. I'm showing them what I want them to see. I've kept her alive. They think they're responding. They think they're protecting her. The house pulsed on the map. The walls shimmered slightly, like a heat haze. I watched the officer's markers adjust slightly in response, as though guided by some invisible tether. You're on the line, the voice continued softly. I've let you hear her. She can't move without me knowing. I clenched my fists. Who? What are you? Something you cannot stop, it said. I am the house. I am inside it, and yet I am elsewhere. You will see soon. Eleanor's whisper pierced through the line. He's right here now, behind me. I can feel him, but he's smiling. He knows you can hear him too. And then before I could respond, the house shifted again. Not on the map, not in coordinates. The entire call line changed. I could hear faint ambient noises, the wind against a window, faint traffic, distant dogs barking. But they didn't match the UK streets we were in. The officers called in panic. Control! The house! It's moving! We can't enter! It's not even here anymore! And on the line, Eleanor whispered, Control. It's never been on a street. Not really. It waits. And it knows you. All of you. I pressed my forehead against the desk, my fingers shaking. The twist was already forming, though I didn't know it yet. The house had become more than a location. It was a living trap. And we were all inside it, already counted in its presence. The officers' radios were alive with static and shouted updates, but every sound seemed distorted, stretched, or delayed. Charlie 12 approached the front of the house, or at least what should have been the front. According to the GPS, the structure sat on a patch of urban grass. According to Eleanor, the bay window was near the hallway where he lingered. According to my monitors, it kept shifting. I watched their markers creep toward the house. 1 second, they were on the lawn. The next, a hedge separated them from the structure. Then a brick wall stood where the door should have been. Control, an officer said nervously. We can't find an entrance. The door isn't there. There's no threshold, just bricks. I swallowed hard, trying to stay professional, but my stomach nodded. Eleanor, I whispered into the line. Can you see anything? Are you safe? I'm in the bedroom, she said softly. But he's in the hall now. Or maybe he's outside. He knows where you all are. He knows what you see. My hand hovered over the microphone. How can that be? I asked myself, but also aloud. The system pulsed again. House status. Reactive. And then the unknown voice spoke through the line. Calm. Soft. Inside the system itself. You're watching. I've given them what they expect. Doors, walls, paths. You all think you are responding, but it is not what you see. You see what I allow. I froze. Who are you? I demanded. Not me, the voice said. We, he, she, the house. A shiver ran down my spine. Eleanor whispered again, barely audible. He moved the bedroom door. I was here, locked, but now, I don't know. It opened itself. Or maybe I imagined it. I can't tell anymore. I tapped the keyboard, trying to override the system. Nothing. Every command ignored. The officers' voices came through, panicked. Control, we're trying to approach. The walls are shifting. The windows are moving. Nothing stable. I leaned closer to the speaker. Stop, I said firmly. Do not enter until you see her physically. Do not go inside until you can confirm it is safe. The unknown presence laughed softly, low, amused. She thinks she's safe, it said, voice coiling through the line like smoke. You will all see soon. I looked back at the monitor. The house icon pulsed, rotated, expanded, contracted. The street grid underneath melted away into a blank gray void, as if the map itself refused to contain the structure. Then Eleanor's voice cracked through the panic. Control. He's smiling. I can feel it. Not at me, at you. The officers froze. I could hear it even over the static, the pause, the uncertainty in their voices. Control. We can't get in, one said. No, another added. It's like it's aware. Every step we take, it shifts. The ground, the walls, even the street. Nothing is fixed. The unknown voice whispered again through the call, calm, deliberate. You see them now, don't you? Thinking they control the perimeter, that they can protect her, that you are outside. I let you think that. The participant count blinked again. 6. I glanced at it, frozen. One extra participant this time. Not Eleanor, not me, not the unknown presence. Someone else, or something else. The officers' radios became unintelligible. Their panic thickened with each second. We can't reach her, Charlie 12 stammered. Control, I think it's moving us now. We're not on the street anymore. The house, it's everywhere. I felt my stomach twist. The realization settled in like ice. It wasn't just Eleanor trapped. It wasn't just the house moving. The house, he, she, it was now aware of all of us. And it was rewriting reality around us. Eleanor whispered finally, voice trembling. You can't save me. I'm already inside it. The line went silent for a heartbeat. Then the unknown voice. Do you see now? I let you witness. I let you respond. And yet, it paused. You are all part of it too. I pressed the headset harder against my ear. The house on the map pulsed. The walls shimmered again. And then the line suddenly clicked. Disconnected. I stared at the screen. Eleanor. Gone. The house icon remained, but it was alone now. The monitors flickered, and I understood. It had never been about her. It had always been about showing us. The line had gone dead. Eleanor. Gone. I sat frozen, headset pressed to my ear, staring at the pulsing house icon on the monitor. It should have been just a digital representation, just a map overlay, but it wasn't. It was alive. Every pulse, every shimmer, every imperceptible shift. It was responding to thought, to intention, to fear. And now I realized something I hadn't allowed myself to consider before. The house wasn't just Eleanor's prison. It had been watching me the whole time. A new participant blinked onto the call. 7. I hadn't added anyone. My pulse hammered. The voice returned, calm, low, almost amused. Dispatcher. I gripped the edge of my desk. I told you not to hang up, it said. You stayed. You listened. You responded. You are part of it now. I backed my chair against the wall, heart hammering. What do you mean? The line crackled and the voice continued. The house is not just walls, not just bricks, not just rooms. It is awareness, observation. It moves where it pleases. It shapes what it sees. It absorbs everyone who touches it. I swallowed hard. You mean Eleanor? There was a long pause. Then the voice laughed softly, a sound that made the hairs on my arms stand straight. Eleanor was never trapped. She was chosen. But you were watching. You were guiding. Your presence, your commands, your control. It became part of the system, part of the house. You helped it see. I staggered backward in disbelief. No, I was just helping her. Exactly, the voice said. Calm, perfect, too calm. And now, you are inside it. The pulsing house icon on my monitor grew larger, stretching across the map, spilling out into blank digital space. It expanded toward me, filling every corner of my vision, and the final realization hit me like ice. Eleanor wasn't missing. She had merged with the house. The house wasn't moving. It had been here all along. It had been waiting for her, for me, for the officers, for anyone who tried to intervene. I could feel it now, almost tactile, through the headset. Walls bending, floors stretching, air thickening. It was listening, absorbing, integrating. And then the final line came through, low, intimate, as if whispered directly into my mind. Thank you for helping me find her. My vision blurred. The monitors flickered. My headset crackled. And then silence. I tried to call out, tried to reach Eleanor, tried to call control. Nothing. And then I heard it. Not through speakers, not through headphones, but in the corners of my awareness. A soft, deliberate breathing. Measured, patient, calm, waiting. And in that instant, I understood the truth. The house didn't just occupy a location. It occupied you. And now it had me. The monitors went dark. The control room lights dimmed, flickered, and in the reflection of the glass, I swore I saw a shadow of Eleanor standing behind me, smiling. And then the quiet came. Absolute, infinite